Howdy folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the Mighty Bjorn, and today for you folks, you need to put on your tinfoil hats and get ready to hear some conspiracy theories, because today I am doing a Mighty game review of Mr. Prepper. Going to dive on in here a bit about the game, give you some details, talk a bit about the game itself, and if I liked or disliked the game, and tell you if I feel it was worth it. So let's do a deep dive here. The developer of the game is Rejected Games, and the publisher is also Rejected Games, as well as Playways. It is on PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and from what I can tell, it looks like there's a Switch version of the game, but details were a little foggy on that, which I wasn't very keen on how foggy the details were, considering that the game came out in November of 2020. And the whole basis of the game is you're supposed to worship the government. But you don't. So you decide to try and figure out a way to escape. You start off by building an underground bunker, and then someone gives you a little postcard note, however, to give you the idea to build a rocket. Yeah, that seems like the greatest thing in the world. Building a rocket to escape the government in an underground bunker. Yeah. Okay. Either ways, while you're doing that, though, in the process, you have to avoid the government inspector that keeps coming to your house because, well, you've been a bit of a pain in the ass in the past, and the government is keeping a close eye on you. And, of course, they actually give you the date when the government comes. Although I didn't get really far into the game, I wouldn't be surprised if after so long it doesn't set up that you get surprise inspections. Also, with that being said, the government actually does control your water and power output, which can complicate things a little bit. You have to go through the process, collect different types of building materials, different types of supplies. So with all that being said, with the collection process, plus you're also meeting other people who will give you tasks to do. You do those tasks, they'll give you stuff that will help you build your rocket ship. So with all that being said, this game will definitely keep your hands busy. But all that being said, this really isn't my type of game. I played a game very similar to this, to Fallout. It was called Fallout Shelter. Now, the difference there is you're building an underground survival bunker, you're building power stations and etc. And what the objective was try to get people, help people survive in your bunker. The more people, the better, yada, yada, yada. So I've played a game similar to this before. Now, there's a lot of other things. There's definitely open world areas you can go to. You can actually mail order for stuff. There actually is a money system as well. As you can see here right now, I'm going through some woods and checking out the area where I can actually find supplies at random, in random locations. Sometimes you can find supplies. You can also find bushes with like blueberries and stuff like that, as well as you can also trap game, which can also help you on that end. You can also craft weapons. Like one of the earliest weapons that you can craft is a baseball bat, but you can also craft bows. I believe there also might be a gun, but I never did get the gun. But I think I did see something on a gun. There's also an underground mine that you have to check out. And there's actually mining equipment in the underground mine that you put fuel into. And if you put fuel into it, it will just automatically run and collect different materials such as stone, iron, and things of that nature. So that all goes towards building your rocket. But basically, that's the whole basis of this game, is to build an underground bunker with a rocket so you can escape, or try to escape, once again. There's also a mood meter to the game. You have to worry about eating. You have to worry about sleeping. So there is a survival element as well to the game, which really wasn't actually bad. It was kind of a nuisance because, you got to kind of take a midday nap every day, it seems like. as well as you got to make sure also you keep certain things hidden from the government. I wasn't aware of it at first, but they did not appreciate seeing the fuel. There's a fuel barrel that you start with, as well as a workbench, and you definitely got to hide that stuff, as well as the crate. The other thing being said too is when they inspect your residence, they actually have a metric for how many different things of whatever you should have. So they feel that you should have so many essentially storage tins in your kitchen. It's very strictly government controlled. They feel that you should have a radio, and I can't remember what else was on the inspection list. And if you don't have this stuff, they essentially label you as doing suspicious activity. And what they will do is they will check your residence more often, the more suspicious you are. And as far as I can tell, if you get too suspicious, it's game over, because they'll ship your ass to a detention facility. Now, other thing that this game features is it also, like as you can see here right now, I am actually building a garden, an underground bunker garden, which I have to keep lit, I have to give it light, and I have to give it water, and I can grow essentially crops in my basement. It's actually all kind of cool. I like how they did it. There is some nuisances because like the power thing I didn't know about, and they don't really have like a meter up on like how much power you're actually using. That being said as well, when it comes to lights, like you can shut the lights off, but the problem is the lights are so small, and as you can see there, because it blacks out, you really can't find the damn lights. I wish there was a better way of doing that, maybe highlighting the highlight whenever the room is black or something. Give it like a white outline so that way you can decide to turn or turn off said light. But other than that, I'm going to admit this is not really my type of game. With that being said, I didn't really see anything wrong with the game. The graphics didn't really seem bad. Yeah, they're nothing. I don't feel they're anything super amazing. But honestly, and I like the ambient noises. Like when you're out in the woods, you get like these nature noises of birds and stuff like that. And you got deer running around. It's all really not bad. The only thing that I felt was kind of bad about the game is I felt the combat was a little bad. It was really nothing amazing. And it's not like it's turn-based or anything like that. It's almost real-time. But it's just really clunky, and it's kind of hard to explain unless you really try it. Sometimes clicking on the enemy that you're trying to hit with said weapon or whatever can be a little bit of a nuisance. I would say that's based on how far you're zoomed in or how far you're zoomed out with the camera. But otherwise, folks, yeah, Mr. Prepper. It really wasn't that bad, even though it's not my type of game. And if this is your type of game, or if you're just looking for a game as a good way to, like, I don't know, blow a Sunday or something like that, just to kind of keep you busy, fend off some boredom, Mr. Prepper actually does do that. So for a 20 spot, I don't know if I would really say it's worth it. It wasn't worth it to me. You'd really have to judge yourself. And honestly, for a game to kind of fend off boredom, like maybe catch it during the Steam Summer Sale for $10, I would actually say it's quite worth it in that end. Now, that being said, there's also a free demo that you can play to try out Mr. Prepper. And there's also a Mr. Prepper prelude, which preludes to the game itself, which is also free. So maybe if you're interested, go check those out before you decide if you really want to buy Mr. Prepper. All that being said, it wasn't a bad game. I like the idea, the premise with the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. And I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, folks, hopefully you enjoyed my review of Mr. Prepper. Thank you very much for tuning in. And have yourself a wonderful day.